Last October, a woman named Rachel sat down on a Sunday afternoon to do something she'd been avoiding for months. She opened a spreadsheet and started listing every subscription attached to her credit card. Rachel earns $78,000 a year. She considers herself financially responsible. She contributes to her 401k. She pays her credit card balance in full most months. She doesn't buy designer clothes or drive an expensive car. By every visible measure, she's doing fine. The spreadsheet told a different story. Netflix, Hulu, Disney Plus, HBO Max, Spotify Premium, Amazon Prime, The New York Times, The Athletic, Adobe Creative Cloud, even though she'd used Photoshop twice in 18 months, a meditation app she'd forgotten existed, DoorDash, DashPass, a meal kit service she'd paused but never canceled, which had quietly unpaused itself 3 months ago. Cloud storage upgrades on both Google and Apple because she couldn't remember which photos lived where. A gym membership at a facility 20 minutes away that she hadn't visited since February. An identity theft protection service her bank had talked her into. 2 software subscriptions for a side project she'd abandoned. Rachel counted 19 active subscriptions. The monthly total came to $487. She stared at the number. That couldn't be right. She went back through her bank statements. It was right. $487 every month was leaving her account in increments so small she'd never felt any of them individually. $487 per month is $5,844 per year. Rachel had been spending nearly $6,000 annually on services she either didn't use, barely used, or could replace with free alternatives. Over the 5 years she'd accumulated these subscriptions, she'd spent roughly $29,000 on convenience she wasn't even experiencing. That $29,000 invested at 8% average returns would be worth over $35,000 today. In 30 years, it would have grown to over $170,000. Rachel canceled 11 subscriptions that afternoon. Her monthly total dropped to $156. She felt nothing missing from her life. The meditation app she'd forgotten about? She hadn't meditated once. The meal kit service? She'd been throwing away ingredients that went bad before she cooked them. The premium streaming tiers? She'd been watching 3 shows total, all available on basic plans. Rachel isn't unusual. She's average. According to a 2025 C+R research study, the average American significantly underestimates their subscription spending. When asked to guess, people estimated around $100 per month. The actual average was $273. Some estimates place it even higher when you include forgotten trials and annual renewals. The gap between perceived spending and actual spending is where wealth disappears. Not in dramatic purchases you agonize over, but in small recurring charges you stopped noticing years ago. Today, I'm going to walk you through 20 subscriptions that are silently draining American bank accounts in 2026. Some of these you're paying for right now. Others you might have forgotten exist entirely. A few you'll defend until I show you the math. This isn't about living a deprived life without entertainment or convenience. It's about understanding which subscriptions deliver genuine value and which ones exist because canceling feels like effort while paying feels like nothing. That asymmetry is designed. Companies spend millions engineering it. The least you can do is understand how it works. Before I walk through the specific subscriptions, let me explain why this category of spending is uniquely dangerous to your financial health. Subscriptions operate on a psychological principle called payment decoupling. When you buy something outright, the pain of payment happens at the moment of consumption. You hand over cash, you feel the loss, you receive the item. The transaction is complete and emotionally processed. Subscriptions sever that connection. The payment happens automatically, invisibly, on a date you don't remember. The consumption happens whenever or never. Your brain stops associating the two. The $15.99 that leaves your account on the 14th of each month doesn't feel like money anymore. It feels like background noise. This is why subscription businesses are valued so highly by investors. The recurring revenue model isn't just predictable, it's sticky. Customers who would never pay $180 upfront for a year of service will pay $15 per month indefinitely because each individual charge falls below their threshold of attention. The subscription economy has exploded accordingly. The average American household now maintains somewhere between 8 and 15 active subscriptions. That number has roughly tripled since 2015. Companies have learned that the path to revenue isn't convincing you to buy, it's convincing you to subscribe and then making cancellations slightly harder than doing nothing. Let me show you the compound math that makes this so devastating. A single $15 subscription doesn't feel like much. That's $180 per year. Over 20 years, you've spent $3,600 on that one service. But the real cost isn't what you spent, it's what you didn't invest. $15 per month invested at 8% average returns for 20 years becomes approximately $8,800. For 30 years, it becomes approximately $22,000. For 40 years, the length of a full career, it becomes approximately $52,000. One $15 subscription, $52,000 in opportunity cost over a working lifetime. Now multiply that by the 8 to 15 subscriptions the average household maintains. The numbers become genuinely alarming. $200 per month in subscriptions, which is below the documented average, invested instead at 8% returns for 30 years, becomes approximately $298,000. 40 years becomes approximately $698,000. The subscriptions themselves aren't the enemy. Some subscriptions deliver extraordinary value. The enemy is subscriptions you're paying for but not using, subscriptions with expensive tiers when cheaper options would suffice, and subscriptions solving problems that free alternatives solve equally well. Let me show you where the money is actually going. Number 1. Streaming service stacking. The average American household now subscribes to 4.5 streaming services. At an average cost of $16 per service, that's $72 monthly on television alone, or $864 per year. Here's what makes this wasteful. Most households can't actually watch 4 streaming services meaningfully. There are only so many hours in an evening. Research suggests the average American watches about 3 hours of television daily. With thousands of hours of content on each platform, a single service provides more entertainment than anyone could consume in a lifetime. The psychology driving multiple subscriptions isn't access, it's fear of missing out. What if that show everyone's talking about is on the platform I don't have? What if I cancel Hulu and then want to watch something that's only on Hulu? The solution is rotation rather than stacking. Subscribe to one service at a time. Watch everything you want on that platform. Cancel, subscribe to the next one. Rotate through the major services over the course of a year, rather than maintaining all of them simultaneously. This approach costs $16 to $18 monthly instead of $72. Annual savings, approximately $650. That's $650 invested annually at 8% returns for 20 years becomes approximately $32,000. Number 2. Premium streaming tiers you don't need. Netflix's premium tier costs $22.99 monthly. The standard tier with ads costs $6.99. The difference is $16 per month or $192 annually. What do you get for that $192? 4K resolution and the ability to watch on more screens simultaneously. If you're watching on a phone or a standard television, you literally cannot perceive 4K resolution. If you live alone or rarely watch simultaneously with household members, the extra screens provide zero value. Yet millions of Americans pay for premium tiers automatically. They signed up for the best option because it felt like a small difference at the time, and they never revisited the decision. Audit every streaming service you maintain. Ask whether you're actually using the premium features that justify the premium price. For most people, the answer is no. Number 3. Gym memberships you don't use. The average gym membership in 2026 costs $50 to $70 per month for a mid-tier facility. Premium gyms like Equinox or Lifetime Fitness run $150 to $300 monthly. Here's the industry's business model. They need you to pay without showing up. If every member actually used the gym regularly, the facilities would be overcrowded and unusable. Gyms oversell memberships deliberately, counting on roughly 50% of members to stop attending within 6 months while continuing to pay. A person paying $60 monthly for a gym they visit twice a month is paying $30 per visit. The same workout at a pay-per-visit facility or a community center would cost $5 to $15. If you haven't been to your gym in 30 days, cancel today. If you attend inconsistently, consider pay-per-visit options, outdoor exercise, or home workouts. The $720 annual savings from canceling a $60 membership invested at 8% for 25 years becomes approximately $57,000. Number 4. Amazon Prime when underutilized. Amazon Prime costs $139 annually in 2026. For frequent Amazon shoppers who use Prime Video, Prime Music, and the free shipping extensively, the value proposition is clear. For everyone else, it's an expensive habit. Let me show you the break-even math. Free shipping on Prime typically saves $5 to $8 per order compared to non-Prime shipping costs. At $139 annually, you need to place roughly 18 to 28 Prime orders per year just to break even on shipping alone. That's ordering something every 2 to 3 weeks, minimum. If you're ordering less frequently than that, Prime costs more than it saves. If you're not using Prime Video as your primary streaming service, you're paying $139 for shipping insurance you're not fully using. The uncomfortable truth. Amazon wants you to have Prime because Prime members spend significantly more. The free shipping removes friction from purchases you might otherwise reconsider. The subscription might be costing you money, not just in its fee, but in the incremental spending it enables. Number 5. Food delivery subscriptions. DoorDash DashPass costs $9.99 monthly. Uber One costs $9.99. Grubhub Plus costs $9.99. These subscriptions promise savings on delivery fees, but the psychology is insidious. When you're paying monthly for free delivery, you feel compelled to use the service to get your money's worth. Each order you place to justify the subscription adds to your food delivery spending. The subscription doesn't save money. It changes your behavior toward more spending. Let me run the actual numbers. Suppose DashPass saves you $5 per order in delivery fees. At $9.99 monthly, you need to place at least 2 orders per month just to break even on the subscription itself. But each order costs $15 to $25 more than cooking at home or picking up the food yourself. Someone ordering delivery twice weekly with DashPass spends roughly $120 to $200 monthly on delivered food. The same meals prepared at home would cost $40 to $60 in groceries. The delivery habit, enabled by the subscription, costs $1,000 to $1,500 annually beyond what the household would otherwise spend. The subscription fee is almost irrelevant. The behavior change is where the money disappears. Number 6. Meal kit services. HelloFresh, Blue Apron, and similar services cost $9 to $12 per serving. A typical plan for 2 people runs $60 to $80 weekly or $260 to $350 monthly. The marketing pitch is that meal kits save money compared to restaurants. That's true. The problem is that meal kits don't compete with restaurants. They compete with groceries. The same ingredients purchased at a grocery store cost 40 to 60% less. A meal kit dinner costing $24 for 2 people could be prepared from scratch for $10 to $14. The convenience premium is $10 or more per meal. At 3 meals per week, meal kits cost approximately $1,500 more annually than home cooking with groceries. Investors see meal kit companies as selling convenience. In practice, they're selling the illusion that cooking from a kit is easier than cooking from groceries. It isn't. Both require the same time in the kitchen. One just costs dramatically more. Number 7. Cloud storage. You're overpaying for. Many households pay for cloud storage on multiple platforms simultaneously. Google One at $2.99 monthly. iCloud Plus at $2.99 monthly. Dropbox at $11.99 monthly. Microsoft OneDrive at $1.99 monthly. The charges are small enough to ignore individually and redundant enough to be wasteful collectively. Here's what most people don't realize. You probably don't need to pay for cloud storage at all. Google provides 15 gigabytes free. Apple provides 5 gigabytes free. Microsoft provides 5 gigabytes free. For most users, deleting old files and photos you'll never look at again frees up enough space to stay within free tiers indefinitely. The cloud storage trap works because companies make it easier to pay than to organize. When your storage fills up, the prompt isn't delete old files. The prompt is upgrade for $2.99 per month. The small charge feels like nothing. Multiply it by 12 months, then by 30 years, and you've spent over $1,000 on storing files you forgot existed. Number 8. Music streaming premium when free works. Spotify Premium costs $11.99 monthly or $144 annually. Spotify Free provides the same music library with occasional advertisements. If you listen to music during focused work or intensive exercise, the ad interruptions might genuinely damage the experience. For everyone else, the premium tier solves a problem that doesn't materially affect your life. The same logic applies to YouTube Premium at $13.99 monthly. If you watch YouTube extensively and the ads genuinely bother you, the subscription might be worthwhile. If you watch occasionally and have developed the ability to skip ads after 5 seconds, you're paying $168 annually for convenience you barely notice. Let me tell you about Daniel. He subscribed to both Spotify Premium and YouTube Premium. He also subscribed to Apple Music because his wife preferred it. Total monthly cost, $37.97 for music and ad-free video. Annual cost, $456. Daniel's household switched to Spotify Free on a shared speaker, kept Apple Music for his wife's personal use, and deleted YouTube Premium entirely. Monthly cost dropped to $10.99. Annual savings, $324. Over 20 years invested, that $324 annual savings becomes approximately $16,000. Number 9. News subscription stacking. The New York Times costs $17 monthly at full price. The Washington Post costs $12. The Wall Street Journal costs $39. The Athletic costs $10. Local papers run $10 to $20. Subscribing to multiple news sources feels intellectually responsible. Being informed matters. But there's a gap between subscribing and reading. Most people with multiple news subscriptions read one source consistently and skim the others occasionally, if at all. The library alternative rarely gets mentioned. Most public library systems provide free digital access to major newspapers and magazines through apps like Libby and PressReader. You already pay for this service through taxes. Newspapers simply hope you don't realize it exists. Canceling duplicate news subscriptions while using library access can save $200 to $400 annually for serious news consumers. Number 10. Software subscriptions you've outgrown. Adobe Creative Cloud costs $55 monthly for the full suite, or $660 annually. Microsoft 365 costs $100 annually. Various productivity apps charge $5 to $15 monthly for features you used once during a specific project. The question to ask, when did I last use this software, and could I accomplish the same task with a free alternative? Adobe Photoshop has free competitors that handle 90% of what casual users need. GIMP, Photopea, and Canva provide image editing without the $660 annual commitment. Google Docs replicates most Microsoft Office functionality for free. Software subscriptions made sense when you used the tools daily. Life changed. Your needs shifted. The subscription continued automatically. Number 11. Identity theft protection you don't need. Companies like LifeLock and Identity Force charge $10 to $30 monthly to monitor your credit and alert you to suspicious activity. Annual cost? $120 to $360. Here's what they don't advertise prominently. You can freeze your credit at all 3 bureaus for free. A credit freeze prevents anyone, including identity thieves, from opening new accounts in your name. It's more effective than monitoring because it prevents the crime rather than alerting you after it happens. The free option is better than the paid option. Identity theft protection services are selling peace of mind for a problem with a superior free solution. Number 12. Extended warranties and protection plans. Best Buy's Geek Squad Protection, Apple Care Plus, Amazon's extended warranties. These plans cost $50 to $300 depending on the product, and they're pure profit centers for the companies selling them. The math doesn't work for consumers. Extended warranties are priced to ensure the company profits. That means, on average, you pay more in premiums than you receive in repairs. The rare person who needs an expensive repair wins. The majority who never file a claim lose. A better approach. Self-insure by putting the money you would have spent on warranties into a dedicated savings account. When something breaks, pay for the repair from that fund. Over time, you'll come out ahead because you're not paying the warranty company's profit margin. Number 13. Premium app features with free alternatives. Meditation apps like Calm and Headspace charge $70 to $100 annually. Free alternatives like Insight Timer provide guided meditations without cost. Language learning apps like Babbel charge $150 annually. Duolingo's free tier provides substantial functionality. Fitness apps charge $120 to $200 annually. YouTube contains millions of free workout videos. The premium app model relies on the assumption that paying creates commitment. If you're paying for Headspace, you'll meditate more. If you're paying for a fitness app, you'll exercise more. This assumption is often backwards. People pay for apps to feel productive, then don't use them, then feel guilty about both the spending and the non-use. The subscription creates anxiety rather than behavior change. Number 14. Dating apps. Tinder Gold costs $30 monthly. Hinge Plus costs $35 monthly. Bumble Premium costs $50 monthly. For people actively dating, these charges can stack to $100 or more monthly. The premium features primarily accelerate visibility and provide more control over who sees your profile. They don't fundamentally change whether you'll find a compatible partner. That depends on your profile quality, your communication skills, and the local dating pool. Before paying for premium dating features, consider whether the basic free functionality has been fully optimized. Better photos, a more thoughtful bio, and improved messaging habits are free and often more effective than paid boosts. Number 15. Subscription boxes. Stitch Fix, FabFitFun, Birchbox, BarkBox, and hundreds of similar services charge $20 to $100 monthly to send you items someone else selected. The appeal is discovery. You receive products you might not have found yourself. The problem is waste. Studies suggest a significant percentage of subscription box items are never used. They sit in closets, get regifted, or eventually get donated. If you're paying $50 monthly for a clothing subscription and wearing half of what arrives, your actual cost per worn item is double what the subscription advertises. The discovery premium is far higher than it appears. Number 16. Cable and satellite TV you barely watch. Despite cord-cutting trends, millions of American households still pay $100 to $200 monthly for cable or satellite packages. Annual cost? $1,200 to $2,400. If you watch cable for live sports, a dedicated sports streaming service costs $20 to $40 monthly. If you watch cable for news, those channels stream free online. If you watch cable for specific shows, those shows are available on streaming services you might already have. The inertia of "we've always had cable" costs the average household over $1,000 annually in redundant entertainment spending. Number 17. Car wash subscriptions. Unlimited car wash memberships cost $25 to $50 monthly. Annual cost? $300 to $600. For the subscription to make financial sense, you need to wash your car at least 3 to 4 times monthly. Most people don't. They sign up imagining they'll wash their car weekly, wash it twice the first month, then forget about the subscription while the charges continue. A car wash twice monthly at pay-per-visit rates costs $40 to $60 monthly, roughly comparable to the subscription. Once monthly costs $20 to $30. The subscription only makes sense for people who genuinely wash their cars every week, which is far fewer people than currently pay for memberships. Number 18. Pet subscriptions. BarkBox costs $35 monthly. Chewy's AutoShip offers modest discounts but encourages purchasing more than needed. Various pet insurance plans cost $30 to $100 monthly. Let me address pet insurance specifically. The average claim is far below the lifetime premium cost for most pets. The insurance company is betting your pet won't need expensive care. If they're wrong often enough to lose money, they'd go out of business. For most pet owners, self-insuring by putting the monthly premium into a dedicated savings account provides better outcomes. You'll have the money available if your pet needs care, and you'll keep what's left over if they don't. Number 19. Gaming subscriptions. Xbox Game Pass costs $17 monthly. PlayStation Plus Premium costs $18 monthly. Nintendo Switch Online costs $4 monthly. Individual game subscriptions add $10 to $15 each. For active gamers who try many different games monthly, these subscriptions provide genuine value. For casual gamers who play 1 or 2 games for extended periods, the subscription model costs more than simply purchasing games outright. A person paying $17 monthly for Game Pass who plays 2 games per year is paying $102 per game played. Buying those games during sales would cost $30 to $60 total. The subscription model benefits frequent users and penalizes infrequent users. Knowing which category you fall into determines whether the subscription makes sense. Number 20. Free trials that quietly converted. This category catches more people than any other. You signed up for a free trial of something. You intended to cancel before the trial ended. You forgot. The charge appeared. You noticed it but didn't cancel immediately because you might use the service someday. Months passed. You're still paying for something you never used beyond the trial period. The free trial to paid conversion trap costs the average American roughly $300 to $500 annually on services they never intended to keep. Companies design trials specifically to exploit forgetting. They make signing up frictionless and canceling slightly more complicated, knowing the asymmetry will convert a percentage of trial users into permanent subscribers who never engage with the product. If you have any subscription you signed up for through a free trial and haven't used in the past 60 days, cancel it today. You can always resubscribe if you genuinely miss it. You won't miss it. Let me give you specific guidance based on where you currently stand. If you've never audited your subscriptions, do it today. Pull up your bank statement and credit card statements from the past 3 months. List every recurring charge. Calculate the monthly total. The number will almost certainly be higher than you expect. That gap between perception and reality is where your opportunity lives. If you've audited before but haven't revisited in over a year, your subscription list has probably grown. Services raise prices, free trials convert, new subscriptions sneak in during busy months when you weren't paying attention. An annual audit should be a calendar event, not an occasional impulse. If you're carrying subscriptions you know you don't use but haven't canceled because canceling feels like effort, recognize that this feeling is engineered. Companies design cancellation flows to create friction. They make you call a phone number, navigate confusing menus, or answer guilt-inducing questions about why you're leaving. The friction is artificial. Push through it. The 15 minutes of discomfort saves hundreds of dollars annually. If you're hesitant to cancel because you might want the service someday, remember that you can always resubscribe. Canceling isn't permanent. The service will still exist next month if you genuinely miss it. What you can't get back is the money that left your account during the months you weren't using it. If you share subscriptions with family or roommates, consolidate accounts rather than maintaining duplicates. Most streaming services allow multiple profiles. Splitting a $23 Netflix account 4 ways costs each person $5.75 monthly. Maintaining 4 separate accounts costs $92 monthly. Consolidation alone can save hundreds annually per household. The single most effective action you can take after this video is what Rachel did. Open a spreadsheet, list every subscription, write the monthly cost, calculate the annual total. Then ask for each one, if this subscription didn't exist and I had to sign up from scratch today, would I? The answer will tell you what to keep and what to cancel. Rachel's story from the beginning wasn't unusual. It was average. The specifics of her subscriptions might differ from yours, but the pattern is nearly universal. Small charges, unnoticed accumulation, genuine shock when the total becomes visible. The $487 monthly that Rachel was spending represented more than just inefficient entertainment purchasing. It represented a relationship with money that had become passive rather than active, reactive rather than intentional. This passivity is the real danger of subscription spending. It trains you to stop paying attention. It normalizes money leaving your account without conscious decision. It creates a financial life where you're always slightly behind, always slightly confused about where the money went, always slightly stressed without understanding why. The opposite of passive spending isn't deprivation, it's awareness. Knowing exactly what you pay for, choosing deliberately which services earn space in your budget, recognizing that every recurring charge is a recurring choice, whether you experience it that way or not. Rachel canceled 11 subscriptions and felt nothing missing. Her entertainment didn't suffer. Her productivity didn't drop. Her life continued exactly as before, except now $331 monthly flows toward her investment accounts instead of toward companies she'd forgotten she was paying. That money working for her instead of against her is the difference between retiring at 63 and retiring at 67. The difference between helping her future kids with college and telling them she can't. The difference between financial anxiety and financial calm. The subscriptions were never really about entertainment or convenience. They were about whether she would control her money or whether her money would control her. Understanding that distinction is where genuine financial transformation begins, not in complex investment strategies or sophisticated tax maneuvers, in the basic awareness of what comes in, what goes out, and whether those flows align with the life you actually want to build. That foundation, understanding the principles that govern how money actually works, matters more than any individual tactic. The people who master those principles don't struggle with subscriptions or lifestyle creep or any of the small leaks that drain most people's wealth. They've built a framework that makes good decisions automatic and bad decisions obvious. Rachel started her audit because of a video like this one. She finished her transformation because she decided to learn how money actually works, not just what to cut. The cutting was the first step. The learning was what made the change permanent. If you're ready to take that step yourself, I prepared a video next regarding financial literacy that breaks down exactly how money works from the ground up. It's the foundation everything else builds on, and it's where I'd start if I were beginning this journey today. The subscriptions you cancel today will save you thousands. What you understand about money will save you hundreds of thousands. The gap between those two numbers is the gap between a tactic and a transformation. Both paths are available. Both start with the same action. Open the spreadsheet, run the numbers, see what's actually happening. What you do after that determines everything.